Welcome to each and every one of you. The Eric Zane Show podcast has begun now. Or is beginning now. Or it's begun. Or something like that. Question was asked to our beloved NFK, my brother-in-law. I go, Kevy, we're going up north. Oh, yeah? I go, yes, it's going to be awesome. Actually, I didn't say we're going up north. I go, Kevy, I'm going up north this weekend. You want to go? Yeah. Yeah, I do. Now, leading up to that question, I was like, do I just want him to stay at the house? Because there's just an extra layer of responsibility that your old pal Eric has there. If he's walking, I have to walk with him. I have to actually hold his hand or his arm, the uneven ground. His balance is a little wonky because of the issues, no big deal. Not to mention, there's just a litany of things you got to be aware of, but no big deal. But I'm like, should I just not ask if he wants to go and just leave him here? And so I have this little battle in my brain between, in my opinion, what is right and wrong. I said, no, ask him. Ask him. For God's sake, ask him. When in doubt, do the thing that's you're conflicted. When you're conflicted, should I or shouldn't I do it? Just do it. I wish I did that more, frankly. And so I go, Kevy, going up north this weekend. You want to go? Yeah, man. Yeah, shit, fuck, yeah. I go, okay. It'll just be you and I. He calls her Reddy. Queen of the Forest, Reddy, is not going to be there. She's staying here. Oh. And he has this, now he's not so pumped up. I go, and so I read that. I go, you don't feel obligated to. So he was super excited with the idea of Eric, Diana, Kevin, and now in a blink of an eye, it's like, So I go, yeah. So what? And he goes, well, maybe not. All right. And I immediately let him off the hook. I go, no pressure, buddy. Whatever you feel like doing. He goes, yeah, I might just stay here. I go, hey, no problem. I don't want to, well, frankly, I like it. I like having one less thing to worry about. I don't mind that he's there. I enjoy the company. It's, suddenly there's going to be a time in my life when I might be alone. You never know. I'll be looking at days, opportunities like this. And I wish I had someone to spend time with. So, all right, I was all about it. Once I made the decision to invite, I was like, okay. But he's like, yeah. I go, all right, man, it's just going to be you and me. And he goes, there's that guy who's always trying to stick his hand up my ass. I don't know if I'm interested in that. The question is asked by someone who I don't recognize. LJ Guy 2004. Oh. You ever go two-tracking up there, Eric? Now, I think that's what you call, if you have one of those fucking side-by-sides, one of those souped-up golf carts with the roll cages. You ever see those things? They look awesome. Holy shit. Or maybe four-wheeling. Do they still have three-wheelers? You remember when you were growing up, you had it was like two wheels in the back and then one up front, And then if you take a turn at 1.5 miles an hour, it rolls 8,000 times and you die. I think that still happens with the four-wheelers. I don't know if anybody does four-wheelers now. I think most people buy like side-by-sides. That's what they're called. Those souped-up golf carts. Those things look awesome. No, I've never done that. However, I used to ride motorcycles up there. My dad had several motorcycles that we would bring up, these old beat-up things. We just beat the shit out of them even more. I want a motorcycle. I want to buy a motorcycle. And I think I'm going to. I just don't know when. What I'd like to do is have, this is something that would require a lot of knowledge gaining by your old pal Eric Zane, and have the ability and the skill set and the tools to actually build like a storage thing on the property to put a whole bunch of shit in. Now, I would have to strike it rich, but the dream would be to have like this almost like a garage or a barn with like a boat, motorcycles, side-by-sides, 4x4 truck, just all sorts of shit up there. Probably never going to happen. I can't even get somebody to go up there with me. So that was just remarkable. Amanda says, you sound like my ex. What? With the hand up the ass? Is that what sounds... Honey, I'm leaving you. Why? Because I can't put my hand up your ass. Sarah says, do you still have the moped? That's more your speed unless you... I sold that thing to Gabe the Honduran. This show happens each and every day in the Baldwin Ace Hardware Fear Bunker Studio. That's where we are right now. So glad that you are here for this episode show number 902, and it's a good one. It's going to be a good one. We've got a lot of things that we're going to talk about today. I am, as always, excited to be here. So, all right. This story, God, a lady in Georgia. There's a couple things that stand out in this story. She's going to KFC, and that's no surprise. She looks to be the type of person who might go there a little too much. I digress. So that's mean and whatever. The lady shows up at KFC, Joanne Oliver, and she orders the huge, and then they give her the huge, put it in a bag, and she takes it home. Well, then she pulls the sandwich out when she gets home, and she sees a dime, a coin, a dime, and then cash money of $543. I guess it's a daily deposit for the Georgia-based Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC. They don't call it Kentucky Fried Chicken anymore. They just call it KFC. Did you know that years ago when they called it Kentucky Fried Chicken, the word fried apparently had a negative connotation, so they just changed it to KFC. That's bullshit. Fried means I'm going in. If it's fried, that's a reason to go. $543.10. I like how in the daily deposit, they actually dropped the dime in there, too. Yeah, deposit this. So I guess they would put it in this. Sounds very secure. Throw it inside of one of the bags that you give a person who is buying fast food, paper bag. And then I guess you walk to the bank and hand them the paper bag. Well, they had the money in the area where, like, people are getting food ready. And then somebody said, oh, man, great. And then just grabbed the open bag and threw the food in, wrapped it up and gave it to this lady. So they give her the daily deposits, $543.10. That sounds very low, by the way, $543 in deposits. She discovers the cash. Here's this nice lady right here. She has called the cops. Called the cops and said, you're not going to believe it. I went to KFC and I got $543.10. All right. She calls the cops. Now, I would have just gone back there and said, hey, I guess it's fine. Either or, call the cops or go there and give the money. But the point is, she gave the money back. Now, I've heard enough about when you take money like that and you just spend it, and then they actually do realize that you have it, then it turns criminal. Then you're in trouble. How many times have we heard stories about people who the bank accidentally gives them money and then they go and they start immediately? Okay. If a person goes and gets $10 million added to their bank account and they're a little bit dishonest, you can't just go and start spending it. You got to wait like a long time to see if they notice. Then if they notice and you haven't touched it, you can just go, you did? Oh, really? Show me. Oh, my God, you did. Well, why don't you get that back then? Then you're off the hook. But if years go by and nobody notices and they'll notice, then maybe. But probably better off just to give it away. It's not yours. Don't even begin to think like that. Just give that shit back. She did the right thing. She gave the money back. Now, the rest of this story is, this is why you should never, ever do the right thing. And you should have spent that money, because nowadays, if you do the right thing, nothing good can come from it. We all know that in this day and age, if you do something very simple, like if a kid sets up a lemonade stand, this just happened. And then some dude says, hey, can you give me some change? I got a $100 bill. And the kid goes, yeah, sure. And the guy goes, yeah, and why don't you keep $10 for yourself and I'll take a cup of lemonade. This actually happened. Guy gets his cup of lemonade. He gets $90 back, and then he leaves. And then it's a counterfeit $100 bill. So what you do then is you let that story take hold. Everybody feels bad for the kid. And then a GoFundMe is created. And the next thing you know, that kid has a college fund. He's got a retirement fund. He's got millions in the bank for the rest of his life. His parents were filthy rich to begin with, but it doesn't matter. It's a cute white kid. So you got to give him the whole world has to give this little fucker money. And then that's it. And then the world goes, oh my God, this is such a great place to live. I love it here on planet Earth because we give this kid who's got ripped off. I say bullshit. The lesson learned there, it is, don't give that kid all that money. The lesson is don't trust anybody. Okay? That's the gift that keeps on giving. The money keeps on giving too, but that's the day and age that we live in. So you would think that this lady would, somebody would turn on the GoFundMe faucet for her and help her out. Now, this lady who did the right thing, technically, probably not, though, because no one is now helping her. No one. Everybody is pointing out that she did the right thing. After getting lunch at KFC and discovering the cash, Joanne Oliver called the police and returned the money, the City of Jackson Police Department said in a statement. Mrs. Oliver had gone to a local restaurant drive-thru on her lunch break, returned to work to enjoy her lunch. When she opened her lunch, she removed her sandwich. She was surprised to find $530.10 in cash. Authorities said their investigation found that the restaurant's daily deposit had accidentally been placed in the bag. Not only did Mrs. Oliver do the right thing, but she saved the manager's job. The department said on Facebook, Mrs. Oliver, thank you for reminding us that we have amazing citizens here in Jackson, and it's people like you that make us great. Make Jackson great again. Okay? Now, for something like that, you have to add in this, too, to make this a horrible story. Mrs. Jackson is trying to take care of her husband, whose body is riddled with cancer, and they have $2 million in medical bills. She said, I could have used the money to pay the electric bill. Now, what more does the world need than to make a GoFundMe for this chick? Does the right thing. She's broke as a joke. She has to work her ass off while her husband is laying there, body riddled with cancer, to fight the cancer in the battle that they're not winning, I think, is a nice $2 million in medical bills. She probably makes like $4,000 a year. And she's like, yeah, just got to pay the bills. So she has a great attitude about the whole thing. She even then said, yeah, I considered keeping some of the money for a second, but ultimately I called the police. So she admits that. She says that, if you don't do the right thing, she said, if you don't do the right thing, it's going to come back on you, Oliver said. I mean, it wasn't mine. I didn't need to keep it. I'll get mine in the future. No, you won't. You will not, because the world is a cold, cruel place, and no one is helping this woman at all. Oh, my God. And not one GoFundMe. There should be 10 GoFundMes already worth $1 million each, and not a dime has been raised for the extra sweet Joanne Oliver. My God. How horrible is this? Sure, some kid at the grocery store picks up some lady's purse and rides his bike 400 yards to her house to give it back to her. He's a billionaire. Mrs. Oliver is left to twist in the wind after doing it. You know what she got for it? Listen to this. KFC, you would think that it starts there. KFC gave her a free meal. That is it. Oh, my God. They're rolling in cash. I see nothing about a GoFundMe. Not a bit. And everybody's talking about, oh, Joanne, she's just special. She is just special. She has earned that meal. She worked so hard for it, doing the right thing. Everyone loves Joanne. Amanda says, start one. Wait a second. Yeah, start one. That's going to be even worse. You got to strike when the iron is hot. First of all, the story is a few days old. That GoFundMe, well, okay, for the 18 people that listen to me, you all will give money, and then that's it. No one will give a shit, and it'll be even more devastating. Terrible. GoFundMe giveth, thou shalt taketh away. Corey writes, I'm not giving shit. Oh, my God. Amanda says she doesn't deserve it. You don't go to get fast food when you're that much in debt. I don't know about that. I mean, sometimes maybe she saved up her pennies. Maybe she's collecting cans on the side of the road. She doesn't deserve it. Wait a second. I don't think that type of response warrants what she did. I mean, she did the right thing. I love it. Adam says, well, if they're only depositing less than $600 from the previous day, maybe this is all KFC can afford to give. All right. So I couldn't believe that. And so now that's it. How the hell is it that there's $2 million in medical bills? My God. I mean, and if you're her, that is staggering to me. $2 million in medical bills. And the thing is, she's got it. She seems to have a nice disposition with the world, probably because she realizes she's not going to pay it. You know, I mean, honestly, if you sit down after your co-pays or whatever, maybe she doesn't have insurance, which is obviously she didn't call Frank Fuss. And all right, yeah, $2 million. You call the hospital and say, yeah, okay, I want to get on a payment plan. And she makes $4,000. She's going to be paying like $3 a month for the rest of her life. My God. So anyway, here in this house, moving on, new story. That's disgusting. That whole story is disgusting that woman gets nothing. Something I saw that was equally sickening, with a much more tangible vibe to it, is, for the longest time, I have described to you that we have a poop eater dog in this household, and that would be O'Neill, who's over there on the ground, and that's devastating. He hunts around for Tootsie Rolls in the yard from the other dogs, and it's the worst. Okay, I love him a little bit less each time, and then he has to work the love back, and I can't catch him eating poop. I mean, it's devastating. We do not have one poop eater. We have 4 poop eaters. What? Yes. Okay. I've discovered that 3 other dogs, the other 3, eat cat shit out of the cat box. Fuck. And I had suspected it was Benny, because when I'm in here doing this show, he's over like in the other room with the door open, which leads out to the hallway where there's a cat box. And I noticed the other day, I was like, there was shit in here not long ago. I could see it. And now it's not here. And then I caught him over by it, and I was like, motherfuck, it's you. You're eating the shit out of here. Then I caught Daisy doing it, and just moments ago, before the start of the show, I caught Bruce doing it. And, oh, my God. What the fuck? And the day started out today with puke on the kitchen table from the cat, puked up hair in the shape of a stomach with a nice brown soup around it. Awesome. Fuck you. And then the cat eats breakfast and then promptly pukes that up on the island. What? First of all, you're asking questions. Why do you allow your cats on there? It's like, dude, okay, if you have a cat, there's no way you can keep the cat from every place in the house. If they can reach it, they'll be on it. Okay? So you just learn, you just coexist. You're just a tenant in the house. The animals rule. There's 6 animals in this house, and basically, 7 with the NFK. And my job is to just clean up after them. So fucking gross. Queen of the Forest says to me the other day, she goes, I don't know if we're going to get another cat. And I'm like, I don't know. We have 2 right now. Used to have 4. Fencer, or Kitty and Buddy Bobcat Face. They both croaked. And now these two, Milo and Lincoln. I like the cats, and I'm the only one that pets the cats. The cats are constantly trying to get attention, and everyone ignores the fucking cats. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? They're actually purring and they're rubbing up against you. All they want you to do is play with them. No one plays with the cats. It's like, no wonder why they puke all over the place. They're pissed off. Jesus. Okay. I have an audience that is on Facebook. They're small. I have an audience on Facebook. I have an audience on Twitter and YouTube. Thank you very much for checking out the show. In the event that you're not hip to what's going on, I then cut the cord on those platforms and hopefully direct you over to Twitch, twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. That's where this show happens in its entirety, uninterrupted. You must go to twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. Fill out your little user profile or whatever it is. Give yourself a name. Hit the follow button so that you know when I go live. And then if you want it with no commercials, you must subscribe. You can subscribe for free with your Amazon Prime account or throw $5 at it. Doesn't matter to me. I mention it once in a while, and I appreciate it if you are subscribed. Hell, I appreciate it if you're just following and giving me a little bit of your time. Well, that's where the show happens, the live stream in its entirety, each and every weekday at about this same time. As always, the audio podcast is uploaded after this one gets done. Everything I say, I kind of just save it, post it, that's it, and off we go. And you can get that wherever you download podcasts. Just search Eric Zane Show wherever you download shows. Or you can get it at my website, ericzaneshow.com. Okay, so for you folks on those platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, I say goodbye to you now